Previously on Ladies of Letters.
Not in my backyard hooligans dressed in green went on the rampage today when they stormed onto the 18th tee at Grosthorpe Golf Club. During the action, an allegedly sex-mad granny, wearing only a day-glow bathing costume and Wellington boots, attacked a bulldozer.
Irene came out of her coma early last week.
Coma?
However, she is suffering from almost total amnesia. She has regrettably become extremely foul-mouthed.
I can't hear a sodding word you're saying, fart face.
Cell 4, Grosthorpe Police Station.
Dear Vera, I am in dire straits and beg you to help.
Cell 4, Grosthorpe Police Station. My God.
Dear Vera, when I got back from yours, the roads were up, blocked drains again. And there was a bulldozer. So, well, I used the opportunity to demonstrate exactly what had happened to me.
As fate would have it, Inspector Gravers was in there buying his Gaviscon at the time. He saw me, apparently repeating my offence, and booked me on the spot.
Oh, no.
He said I was nothing more than an urban terrorist and he had a good mind to charge me under the Glorification of Terrorism Act. The officer with him, a totally humourless man, took this at face value and produced his handcuffs. You can imagine his surprised response when I turned my pirouettes on him. Well, I hope you can't imagine it, actually, because apparently I surpassed myself. I called him a... No, I did.
My solicitor read it to me, blushing crimson, as they had taken it all down to use in evidence against me. And then, this morning, I was remanded in custody, awaiting trial, which could take anything up to 2 years, apparently, depending on the backlog. I am beside myself with worry about Sydney. He has been in the Pampered Pooch Pet Hotel now for 3 weeks, all the time I was hospitalised. And, well, I think he might pine away and die before I get out. Could you, please, collect him and look after him until my return? I know it's a big favour to ask, and, well, if things go against me, it could be a job for life. But, you see, you, well, apart from me and Leslie, you are the only person he's ever registered the slightest bit of affection for. Couldn't leave him in a room with Clive, he'd have had him. Which is a very rare thing in a giant poodle. Please forgive me for asking you to do this, but it would be just one thing less for me to worry about. Apart from this, I had... Apart from this, I had a thoroughly enjoyable weekend with you. Notwithstanding the drama at the play. Oh, I am so sorry about what happened in the quiet scene in Act 2. Who'd have thought, though, that a box of hard centres dropped on someone's head from an upstairs balcony would have caused her to get her memory back? My name is Irene Spencer, and I've catered the cricket club teas for 25 years. Ah, the bulldozer, the bulldozer!
Irene, get a grip.
Vera? What are you doing here?
Oh, sit down.
I hope you weren't too embarrassed by it.
I'm sorry, she's not from round here.
Conditions in here aren't really too bad, except the overcrowding means that we can't have any visitors. I'm sharing my cell with 2 very nice girls and their mother, who were all charged with murdering a rapist whilst he was going about his business. Oh, I must say, my spirits were raised considerably by a kind WPC who showed me yesterday's Mercury. Marjorie Bostock and the girls are organising an Irene Spencer is Innocent midnight fun run to try to raise money for my bail. I hope there's a good turnout. They've set it at £250,000. Please write when you can. My solicitor is going to smuggle this note out and post it on to you because the censorship in here is awful. Today, one of my cellmates got a letter. Dear Auntie Maz and cousins, blank, 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 blankety blank, blank. All the best, Tracy Louise. So you better be careful what you write. Hope you are keeping well. Sorry to be a bother. Lots of love, Irene. Oh, P.S. Sydney hates tinned food of any kind except a tall tin of red salmon.
You love them. Dear Irene, surely they wouldn't censor a fond endearment.
My blank Irene.
But I'm beginning to believe what Karen says about the the blanks. Before, I'd always put it down to left wing, blank wing paranoia. As for this blanking business, it turns out I'm rather good at it. It's fun talking in code, isn't it? Like 00 blank. I think I'll have a glass of Van Blanc to celebrate.
Don't worry about Sydney. I've collected him. I didn't have any salmon handy, so I opened a tin of duty-free snails and he wolfed them down. I think my arms have grown a foot longer since we've been going walkies. So nice to have a pet of my own again.
The Astor players have really entered into the spirit and are going to mount a benefit for you. I think it's called the Vagina Monologues. Oh no, perhaps not. The Blanca Monoblancs. Oh, one word of advice. Do be careful who you fall in with there. Karen was once taken to blank prison after a demo. And the thing she saw, unnatural acts, using blanks. And that was only the warders. I rang her to tell her what had happened to you, but as usual she blanked me. I must go, as Sydney is barking. All my blank, Vera.
Dear Vera, do not send your letters here direct. I couldn't decipher a word of your last one, so full of blanks was it. Anyway, I've heard on the grapevine that I'm to be moved quite soon. I've no idea where, so write to me care of my solicitors, Crab, Sidebottom and Partners Limited, 5 Dresden Street, Grosthorpe. And Mr. Crab Jr. will smuggle them into me, wherever I am. Apparently, he gives all his briefs to a lady barrister, which is what I call progress. He says she is the best I can afford, as she is young, black, and only a woman.
Although I can't quite get the meaning of your wishes.
I read it every night, and I sleep with it under my pillow. Oh, yesterday, another girl moved into our cell. So now we are 5. I must say, she paints a very attractive picture of prison proper. I shall be almost disappointed if I don't get sent down. She defaulted on her mortgage payments, got banged up for 4 years and came out with a degree in economics. Now she's in trouble with her credit cards on purpose so she can get a PhD. Oh, that nice WPC came in here last night just before lights out, removed her tunic, unbuttoned her shirt and stuck her chest out at me. Underneath, she was wearing a Free Irene Spencer t-shirt. Apparently Judith Brain's husband had his pupils print them out, see, at the academy school where he works. She didn't get hers, though, from there. She got hers from a working girl, apparently as a bribe for not running her in. Awful times we're living in, when a poor shorthand typist has to bribe the police not to arrest her. Oh, dear. I must sign off now, as I've used up all the paper. I've Sorry about the Bronco. They're really very stingy on the stationery in here. It'll soon be Christmas. I won't be able to send out any cards, but never mind, it'll be nice to have the company. Fondest love, Irene. Oh, no. Prisoner F5138. There we are. Ooh. Oh, P.S. Thank you so much for rescuing Sydney. You are indeed a friend. Give him a kiss from me and tell him that Mummy loves him. Oh, V, I wish you could come and visit me in here. Will you stop it? Irene Spencer, brace up. No sniffles.
Dear Irene, I've always wanted to visit one of Her Majesty's residences, but I would have preferred it to have been Buckingham Palace. The food in Her Majesty's prison is abominable. I can only hope the Queen's personal cooks are of a more regal standard. I'm here because of Karen. And if I didn't know she was too witless to organise it, I'd say she'd done it on purpose. I've always put her moods down to raging hormones, but au contraire. Apparently, they were caused by a drug called ecstasy. Given her glumness, you could have fooled me. And thanks to her dealer leaning on my garden wall and giving out furtive packets to the local youth, my house has been under surveillance for weeks. They found that reference to talking in code in one of my letters to you. And 2 days later, Customs and Excise dropped in. Through the skylight. Some of them did come in through the more regular route of the front door, but as it was locked and bolted at the time, 4:15 a.m., they left rather a large hole, having axed down 3 of the panels. Really, binge-drinking hoodies would have caused less damage. Apparently, they suspect me of being an international drugs runner. But this I only learned after they'd smashed my entire collection of Port Merion teapots and ripped up all the upholstery. I was gobsmacked, literally. And when I'd recovered enough to speak, they demanded to know who or what was Sydney. Well, I would have thought that was self-evident, as the poor lamb was shut in the kitchen, howling more ear-shatteringly than the hound of the Baskervilles. But they persisted in thinking that Sydney was a euphemism for drug abuse. As is going walkies. And snails, a type of psychedelic substance which makes you feel like a giant. Speaking of which, I probably shouldn't have admitted that my Irish librarian had great crack over the weekend. I held on as long as I could. As it is, I shall need new dentures. This is being smuggled out by a charming girl with whom I've been sharing a cell. She was arrested and charged with improper use of a wheelbarrow. She was using it to wheel empties to the bottle bank. But, according to health and safety, it's a public danger unless you take them by car. Luckily, she's going on parole today. Her lawyer pledged her to 2 years community gardening. Presumably, she'll be allowed to use the wheelbarrow for that. She plans to stay out long enough to post a letter. I haven't been allowed to see a lawyer until I confess. But I have had a visit from Karen. Are you sure you can manage, Sydney? He's a very strong dog. Though how she will, I don't know. She's hugely pregnant with swollen ankles, and the baby's still 2 months off. Do twins run in your ex-paramour's family?
I've no idea if he's even got a family. And the only sort of twins he's ever mentored are carburettors. Going for a smoke.
Try as I might, I can't picture that relationship. Well, my dear, I must close, as Maxine has her running shoes on and is eager to be off. Good luck. I don't know how long they can hold me without charge. Karen says about a year. So, I might end up in the cell next to you. Keep your pecker up. Love, V. P.S. I can't bear to think what they'll serve up for Christmas dinner. Still, look on the bright side, Irene. It's an easy way to diet.
Cell 214. Thank you, love. HM Prison Ship, Pride of Cleveland, my dear V. I have just read your letter. Well, what a chapter of incidents and coincidence. I've just heard on the grapevine that you and I are in the same boat, so to speak. Well, Maxine, of course, was picked up almost immediately for possession of an offensive weapon, or afro comb, and she was very not doing that one. She was very disappointed not to post your letter. But imagine her surprise when she found she was sharing a cell with me. She was telling me how you've been keeping everybody's spirits up with your encyclopedic knowledge of karaoke songs. And as for the impression of the governor doing Sing Along a Cellmate, well, Maxine just turned to me and she said, "That has got to be Vera." Well, we had one wine gum that we'd been saving for just such an occasion. And all the girls in this cell were of one mind, to toast Vera. We each had a lick, and honestly, I felt quite intoxicated afterwards, although I suppose that might have just been high spirit. Anyway, welcome aboard, dear friend. With much love, Irene.
Dearest Irene, I'm delighted news of my cabarets is reaching F-Deck. It's amazing what prison brings out in you. I'm hoarse from all this singing. Of course, I always knew I was a performer. When I was a toddler, my father's favourite trick was to say, "Go to the door and fetch it." And I'd get down on all fours and crawl to him with the newspaper in my teeth. I've had prisoners and warders alike in tons of my hits from the musicals. We're doing a full-scale production of Guys and Dolls for Christmas, because we're a bit short of guys, but you'd be surprised what you can do with a bit of brown paper and sellotape. Right. Anyway, speaking of shortages and brown paper, I can't spare any more. So, all for now. Best love, V. Now come along, girls. Do you remember what I taught you yesterday? Shoulders back and la 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 la. Turn, 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 turn. And present.
HM Prison Ship, Pride of Cleveland, dear Vera. Who would have thought that two ordinary, respectable ladies like ourselves would be spending Christmas at Her Majesty's pleasure, moored up on the Wash? Vis-a-vis your release, I have sent a deposition to my lawyer stating your innocence re any connection whatsoever with a drugs ring. Now, I've written it on Bronco, but I haven't been able to post it yet because of staff shortages. Apparently they're all calling in sick at the moment as they want to spend Christmas with their families. Well, don't we all? Well, no, actually, in my case, I don't. It is a dreadful thing for a mother to say, but I would choose the company of convicts over the company of my daughter Leslie any day of the week. I say, isn't it amazing how you can write so small on one sheet of paper and get all this on? Tomorrow I shall try to save 2 sheets, and then we can have a really good chin wag. All for now, my dear. Keep your spirits up. All love, Irene. Oh. Kiss, kiss, kiss. P.S. I I'm giving this note to Janice, who's on kitchen duty, so that she can deliver it to the girl who's on your deck. Pleasant. This feeling of comradeship. I don't know about the brotherhood of man, but it's taken prison to teach me about the sisterhood of women. Would anybody like my sausage? Hey, it's for eating.
Dearest Irene, I believe you and I may see each other tomorrow, albeit across a crowded mess hall. It being Christmas Day, we're all to be herded together for our turkey roll and rehydrated potatoes. And we're to be allowed to watch the Queen's speech before being given our night-time dose of Siroc's hat. Well, all for now, as I'm hanging up my stocking. There's a hand knitted by a lady at release. I don't think she knew how to turn a heel, but it's very kind. And I'm just joining my cellmates in a few heartwarming carols. I shall think of you as we sing. A very Merry Christmas, dear friend. And may we be able to greet the new year, free in spirit, if not in body. Your very own Vera. Lally infant, so tender and mild, sleep.